Okay, this is the 10 o'clock hour, the Board of Equalization hearings. We'll have the deputy clerk swear everyone in that is going to participate in a hearing at this time.
You'll be speaking for your hearing. Please stand and raise your right hand. Can you stand, sir?
Please stand.
Can you stand?
Oh, easy for you.
Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Under Idaho Code 63-501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene. Whoop. You here for the 10 o'clock hearings?
I am.
Okay, you're almost late. Go ahead and swear him in if you would, please.
Can you please raise your right hand?
Me?
Yes. Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead and have a seat. We'll call you when your time's up. Under Idaho Code 63-501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as the Board of Equalization. We're here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63-205, which states that all real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63-502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to exemptions from taxation. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, the state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact, not fiction. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. The structure of the hearing is you will be given 3 minutes. The white light will come on when we start, the yellow light comes on when there's 1 minute left, and the red light goes off on, you're done, and there will be a beep. And then the assessor's table will be given the same amount of time. We'll ask some questions, and the commissioners will make a decision. The rules: be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board, to the commissioners. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned. If your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave or escorted from the facility. Please state your name, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Robert Ballard, 1818 North Mink Creek Road, Pocatello. I purchased the piece of property in question about 20 years ago, 5.2 acres, I traded an old car for it. The description of it is on the east side of Mink Creek with no creek frontage, with slopes that average from 45 to 60 degrees. I've been assessed $34,234, and the new assessment is $51,000. The adjoining parcels of 192 acres and 80 acres are assessed at $16,636 and $6,800, with a tax per acre of 72 cents and 76 cents, while I pay 61.15 cents. Their property north that is flat, that is assessed much, much lower, with effective tax rate of 74 cents an acre, $10.58 an acre, and 74 cents an acre. And I could go basically find 100 of these. My question is, I pay my fair share. Are these people paying their fair share? Equity, that's what it's about. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Questions about what he just said?
No questions.
Your 3 minutes begin now.
I'm just showing that it's a 5.2 acre parcel and that we have it for $51,351. And it is, I'm not sure which ones he is referring to, adjacent to. They should all be similar unless it's BLM or some ag exemption.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Looks like it's maybe contiguous property.
It's a contiguous property. There's no road access to this at all, correct? You have to try and cross the creek, so you can't get a vehicle over there to it. You can't get a
No,
piece of equipment in, you can't.
The last guy that put a bridge across the creek ran into some problems with Fish and Game and cost him plenty of money.
Yeah, they don't like it when you just go do that. The problem I have, and we've seen these parcels come up before, and I don't know why this didn't hit. Typically, in the last couple of years, we've just assigned like a $500 an acre nominal value or $1,000 an acre nominal value to it, because really this is standoff. This is just so nobody builds a house closer.
Deer habitat.
Yes. So, I mean, really, even at assessing it at the 30,000, there's not any value to this ground except it's pretty.
I mean, he has access
I
to
mean,
his, but. yeah.
You have access to it, but what I'm saying is you have foot traffic access.
no building on it.
There's no building.
building.
You
Okay.
couldn't, the parcel behind you, is that BLM that's behind it?
Yes.
So-
To the side, it's
It's-
private. BLM, I think, is behind it.
So you'd
Then the
have-
dumps behind that.
Right.
So you would have to get to the BLM ground then to, like, if you wanted to ride a dirt bike or something on it, onto your property, you'd have to go up and around. Because you
I've never
couldn't-
set foot on it.
Okay. Like I said, this is the problem you run into, is really the best use of this is to graze it with cattle or something like that, but until that, but I just set a nominal value on it, and there's nothing
Okay.
really there for it.
Got a suggestion?
Mr. Chairman, this will be easy. I think the best way to interpret this is it was purchased for $10,000. I would leave a $10,000 value on it as it sits, because there's nothing that can be done to this piece of property.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
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 I
All
have
right.
Another question.
So, just let us finish here. We've adjusted down to $10,000. And either you or the assessor's table have the ability to appeal to the state or to the district courts. Other than that, I would consider that your hearing is over. Susan? Cowley? Dean Cowley. Okay, go ahead and state your name and
My name is Dean F. Cowley. I reside at 283 Foothill Boulevard.
your time begins now.
I moved into that house in November of 1989. The next summer, we put a new roof on the house, and now the roof is gonna have to be replaced. The home has, all the flooring on the main area is carpet that's wore out. That was last replaced when I retired in 1925. 1995, I'm sorry.
I'd say if you're retired in 25, man, you look awesome for your age.
Did you say my time was up?
No, you're good.
There is no central air conditioning in that house. There's no way to put it in because it has a boiler system and baseboard heating would cost a fortune to try to put a central air. The carpets wore out. Oh, there's no restroom on the main floor. It's just a big living area plus the kitchen. There's no formal dining room there.
You have to go up or down.
And you have to go up about 7 steps or down 7 steps to find a bathroom. I just wonder why my taxes have gone up. Apparently, it appears they're gonna go almost double what they were a year ago, and I don't think that's right. There's been nothing done to the house to improve it for many years.
Anything else?
I don't know, can you think of it?
That's about it.
I guess
Your
that's
income hasn't changed
pretty.
since you retired.
Okay, and we don't talk about income, we don't talk about taxes and stuff in this hearing. All right, thank you very much. Any questions about what he said? All right, your 3 minutes begin.
I did speak with Mr. Callie's, I believe it was his niece, daughter. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm trying to make you younger than you are.
No, that's fine.
Sorry, over the phone, and we went through the home dwelling details, made sure everything was accurate. We did end up removing a paver brick patio that had been tore out and made some adjustments to the condition, which we did bring the value down to $390,137. This is a 1972 home. I mean, it's got 1,500 square feet on the main, and then a little bit less in the basement because it shares a basement garage with that. But all in all, I would just ask that the value of 390, the adjusted value of 390,137, be upheld at this time.
Okay. Questions about what she just said?
I'm sorry, I wear hearing aids. I did not really understand what she said.
Okay, we'll ask some questions and have a conversation here as commissioners then, okay? Commission?
What did you set the condition at that house at? This is a property we had this, it's kind of,
I think we just made some condition for like paving and stuff.
okay. What's the overall condition of the
I believe
house?
it's average for
Average.
the 1972.
Because I think, I remember when this one came in, this was right at the bottom of Foothill, and, what's that street?
Trail Creek.
Trail Creek, thank you. It's got this weird, it's kind of a big one, and it looked, yeah, so the last time it came in, and there was some condition changes specifically that were modified to the house, and the house hasn't had any updates. Because last time they had pictures of the roof, I remember they came in and the roof was all mangled, and if the roof hasn't been replaced and it hasn't been done, that would be I'd have some discussion there. Just because it's a weird, I remember this one was a weird one when all the pictures and everything were brought out, and everybody was like, yeah, something's going on there. That's all I have.
Commissioner Huff?
Well, unless the condition is, as Commissioner Tubby is noting, I think the assessor's value is probably about where it should be. Let me just look at one more thing here real quick.
Yeah, I can see on top of that. Oh, there's the new image. Hold on, maybe on top of it. Where's that? 621. And the shop behind it is part of the property as well, isn't it? That was the other thing that causes the value to change, is because you have such a large shop behind it that most of those houses in that neighborhood don't have there's not a build on it.
Are you asking me?
I was asking your daughter. You're good. You're good, sir. What is that?
There is a shop building there too, yes.
Yep.
And it'll have to be re-roofed with the rest of the house.
Well, and like I said, if the condition is average to, something there. Remember last time I can't remember what we ended up doing, but that was the condition argument. Is there even a bathroom on the main floor? Or is
No,
Just, okay.
you have to go up or.
For some odd reason, I thought there was a bathroom that just broken on the main floor or something like that. But
You want to give it a,
The other comment I would like
I do.
to make, can I make another comment?
how much, 10, 15?
15.
Good.
Here.
So,
Here I can do it if you want me to, Jeff. Or,
I'm almost there.
okay. You go.
So, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPWP 0033200, I make a motion that we adjust the value down to $375,137 to compensate for the condition of the property and with the reduction coming off the improvements.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we adjusted it down, 375,137. You have the ability to appeal that further, and so does the assessor's table. But I would say that your hearing is complete. Thank you.
He might be a
Anita.
circuit breaker.
Is there one on there?
No.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The assessor's table is going to visit with you as you step out and try to help you in another way too.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We
Miss-
made,
Go ahead.
we made an adjustment to that Suzanne Grinnell,
Okay.
but then she didn't show, so I didn't know if you wanted me to read that in or
Let's-
just put it on our other.
No, let's read it in and,
We brought it down to 470,357.
Boo.
What parcel number is that? Parcel number RPRPBL 5001200. I make a motion that we accept the assessor's adjusted value.
we have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Riley? Go ahead and state your name and your 3 minutes begin.
Steve Riley. You want my address, or,
No, that's fine.
okay. Our property, our home, is the old church on the corner of Tyhee Road and Yellowstone. And the assessment has risen, which, we had a home on Quinn Road, here where Mr. Huff lives, and the assessment went up there, and I totally agreed, basically, with it. But in this case, there is really no comparable to this building. When we tried to purchase it, none of the banks would lend us conventional money because there were no comparables, and it was on the market for quite a while, because lots of people looked at it, but no one was willing to purchase it. Anyway, we have 1.5 baths. It's building was built in 1934. We still have the original steam heat. We have electricity in most of the rooms now, but I just disagree with the assessment as it has been rendered.
Okay? Okay. Questions on what he just said?
Is this currently for sale?
No.
You had the same thought I did, because there's one on 10th Street that's for sale that's kind of, but there's apartments and commercial buildings inside of it. They wanted $1 million for it.
Oh, really?
And that's why I was like, is this building for, I already looked. I was like, no, it's not that one.
No, we just live there, and we don't operate it as a business.
Okay. Your 3 minutes begin now, assessor table.
Okay, yeah, we've worked with Mr. Riley over the years, just trying to keep it fair and equitable for what it is and that area that they do, use as living space, which is, for the most part, it used to be when I had spoken with him in years past, that it was mainly the basement area that they were using to live in. And, we'd gotten some pictures from when it was first purchased back in, I believe it was 2013, and just try to thoroughly go through and actually figure out what exactly the portion was for living space. And since then, we've continued to keep it as such. So, I mean, it has over 4,000 square feet between, well, the main and the basement, but they, for the most part, occupy the basement. But if you're looking at it as what it is used for as a residence, I would just ask that we uphold that value of $485,998, just due to, we have considered the amount that is being actually lived in, and we have tried to work and keep the rest as basically storage and stuff for this property.
Thank you. Any questions about what she just said?
Well, you mentioned that you had tried to work with us. I don't remember that we've ever spoken or communicated.
Maybe a few years ago, I spoke with you pretty extensively over the phone. I don't know that we ever were able to make an appointment to come out and view the property, but I had spoke with you because you had mentioned that you were mainly living in just a few rooms in the basement and that it did need electrical. Sorry,
All right, thank you. Thank you. Commission, questions?
That to you, sorry.
So my question then is how do you look at this property? Because you have a 4,000 square foot structure.
Right.
And so if you look at a 4,000 square foot structure that we have, is it a 4,000 square foot structure that's all residential living space, or do we have a 4,000 square foot structure that has space being used as residence and other space that's being used as storage space? So what do you give the storage space per square foot? And so that's the question. A typical garage or something like that, you're $40 a foot.
Yeah.
You're doing something different. I don't know how to, and it's a subject, and this is where you're getting very subjective, because you bring the point to the banks, because most banks won't lend on a property like this because it wouldn't go FHA, it'd have to go conventional cash sale.
So the land went up $35,000. And I don't know what the surrounding property is, but I mean,
I think that's probably,
without scraping the ground, I mean,
Well,
except for buildings.
I think you're 5 acres because there is a commercial
Is it
corner.
5 acres?
Yeah, it's,
I
I thought it was 2.5.
Yeah,
2.8.
it's around 3 or
Yeah, it's
something
close
close
to
to
3.
3.
oh, yeah,
2.8.
sorry. I was looking at,
Like 2.8.
Not, I mean, most
That's reasonable for
of
that.
it's filled in.
but what I was saying is you're on the corner where you have like the Tyhee market across the street. I mean, there's some commercial stuff that you could probably, but you'd have to scrape the ground. You'd have to do some other stuff there. So I think the land value, you could be arguing, but I think land value is probably one of the easiest values to establish here.
Okay.
But I would say in your improvements, again, I don't know how to, I mean, do I look at this as a, okay, we're going to be subjective, very subjective here for just a second. What would Commissioner Tovey want? I've been looking at a lot of houses lately. We do this every year. If I was looking at a $485,000 house, would this be on its list? I'm not saying that what you have isn't cool, but for me personally, in the general, I would not value this at the same as I would value some of the houses. Like I saw a friend of mine called me last night and is buying a house, so he talked to me about some houses that he bought. There's a house up on Porthos Court for $450. It's 2,500 square feet, 3-car garage. Does this have a garage on it?
No.
So there's some of those other ones. There's a house up on a couple up on Satterfield that are right at the 500 level, a little higher, that are listed right now. There's some other stuff. And so this is where I say is I don't know how you would, in the market value, this is a very niche. I don't know how to classify the square footage that's being used, other than, is it a garage without a garage door? Is basically, I mean, that's,
Yeah, that's kind of, we've taken away probably, what, not quite 1,000 square feet, and just made it basically like it's not even there on the main, because the other has finished to it, but he is using it as storage.
yeah. And that's why I say, this is one of those, this is one of the properties that every time it's ever come up, it's one of the ones that's the more aggravating of them
I
all.
guess it's only 400.
Now, what I would say,
Back to last year's value on the
Property
house
and leave the land.
property in.
We have it in fair condition.
That's what I'd say.
We
I'm
have
okay with that.
altered the
Yeah.
condition to fair.
Go ahead.
So, on parcel RP, R3803040302, that we adjust the improvements to last year's value and leave the land the same for a total of $398,718. We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. So we adjusted your property down, just 90,000. So your total now is 398,718. Either you or the assessor's table have the ability to appeal this. But other than that, I'd consider that your hearing is over.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
What's your name, ma'am?
Suzanne Grinnell.
Okay. You're late.
I am, I'm so sorry.
Uh,
I have a valid reason. Okay.
well,
Okay.
there was an adjustment made by the assessor's office that,
Okay.
what was it to?
It was
It was
390,137.
390, 137?
That included the land.
What do you have?
I don't.
On Grinnell?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought I read it off of here and said, oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. Never mind.
Wow, you just about just hit the lottery
I
right there,
hit the
man.
wrong button.
So
I thought I was.
I was
on her-
like,
Yeah.
27,000,
Sorry.
How much was it?
It's down to,
473.57.
yeah, sorry. I clicked on Cowley instead of Grinnell.
Okay.
473.57, yeah.
I'm just curious, how did we come to the number?
We corrected the house type.
Oh, okay.
We had
Go ahead.